ASAP Rocky has lost 85% of his audience, and I mean, we can see the numbers. Rocky just dropped this brand new single that came out to 237,000 first day streams on Spotify. And when you look at his last single before this, that came out to 1.67 million streams on the first day. Rocky's career is in a real interesting place right now because it's like he got the eyes of the world on him, but no one cares about the actual music. And if we're going to be honest, the way his fans in the world feels is his fault. And I say that because we haven't got an album from Rocky since 2018 with Testing. And then his new rollout for his brand new album, Don't Be Dumb, will start up. And it's been terrible. He done came back, started the rollout, ended the rollout, started up again, lied about this date, lied about this date. People tired of it, and we actually seen it firsthand. Rocky just dropped this song as an Apple Music exclusive, and it didn't even chart on the top 200 charts on Apple Music. And that's saying a lot. This exclusive song didn't chart like it was supposed to. Low-key, Rocky is proving Drake's point from last year. Back when there was beefing, remember what Drake said. Probably got to have a kid again before you think of dropping again, because when you do, they gonna tell you should have modeled because it's me. And Rocky low-key proving the point. Rocky is such a known artist, a man whose career done lasted longer than a decade, and he done dropped some good music. I mean, he wouldn't have the respect he did right now if he didn't have a good catalog. But as of late, music really been on the back burner. I mean, halfway through 2025, we ain't got no new album from ASAP Rocky since 2018. His fans been starved of music for so long. And it's not like a Frank Ocean, for example. You know, Frank Ocean, he might not drop music, but at that same time, he's completely out the way. You don't ever really see him in the media. You don't ever really see him on social media. So Frank fans get no music, but at the same time, they don't see him or seeing him in the news or seeing him being in the studio with other rappers or being around all these other people. So yeah, Frank fans be feeling a little bit and they might be a little irritated, but it's different with Rocky when Rocky's always in your face. He's always in the news about this and always in the news about that. He always with this rapper, giving this person features, but never dropping actual music himself. And the fans seeing this is really hurting his rollout, hurting his reputation a lot right now. But everything in life ain't just black and white. Throughout this period of no music, he has gotten into a lot of problems, and the man's life has changed. I mean, if we really look at recent years, one of his biggest situations was back when he got arrested in Sweden. For a period of time, the world was really thinking that Rocky was going to be stuck in this Swedish jail. Back in June 2019, Rocky would head out to Sweden for a Smash Festival performance, right? But there's a problem. A fight would break out, and nobody knew what this fight breaking out would actually cause. Like, the problems these brought Rocky was real bad. XXL wrote this. Last month, Rocky was on tour in Sweden, enjoying the stroll through the Stockholm streets with his entourage. One thing led to another, and a brawl broke out that was captured on camera and went viral. Rocky was arrested after turning himself in for questioning. He spent more than 4 weeks in the Swedish jail fighting an assault case that could lead to 6 years in prison, all while being denied bail by a local judge. On July 1st, video surfaces that shows A$AP Rocky fighting the man. First clip shows Rocky having a conversation with him. One of the men accuses someone in their entourage of breaking his headphones and demanded they to replace. According to witnesses, the local man followed the rapper and threatened to call the police over the broken item. So he fights this nigga out in Sweden, and Sweden was really trying to make an example out of Rocky because the judge, like that article said, was trying to force him to stay, denying the bail, saying he facing 6 years. Like, it was looking bad. It's so bad that Trump, who was president at that time, would get on Twitter and say this: Just had a very good call with @Swedish PM, who assured me that the American citizen A$AP Rocky will be treated fairly. Likewise, I assured him that Rocky was not a flight risk and offered to personally vouch for his bail or an alternative. Trump would also say, very disappointed in the prime minister for being unable to act. Sweden has let our African-American community down in the United States. I watched the tapes of Rocky, and he was followed and harassed by troublemakers. Treat Americans fairly. And when the case would end, Rocky would actually end up being found guilty. And he'll respond to the verdict and say this: I'm of course disappointed by today's verdict. I want to say thanks again to all my fans, friends, and everyone who showed me love during this difficult time. I'm going to keep moving forward. Thank you to my team and everybody else who advocated for justice. But luckily, instead of having to do 6 years in prison, he got a suspended sentence. So Rocky didn't have to do no actual time in jail. But Rocky and putting hands on other people going to come back around later in the vid. So just keep that in the back of your mind. But think about when this happened. This was in 2019, a year after Testing. So whatever he was working on, whatever album or whatever music he was finna put out next probably got delayed. I mean, really think about it. He in Swedish jail getting treated all kind of ways, thinking that his life might be over, thinking he about to be in there for 6 years. It probably had a delay on whatever he was working on. So that happens. Then the next year was 2020. I don't even got to go into detail about that, nigga. Everything that happened that year probably also would have had a delay on whatever project he was working on, because let's be real, it would have been a bad move for A$AP Rocky to actually drop an album in 2020 when he couldn't go on tour, he couldn't do no performances. The album most likely would have underperformed compared to it being dropped in a regular year. Now 2020 come around, but we didn't get no album. But this is where him and Rihanna really got together and kind of took over the internet with their relationship. But he also would enter a bad phase, a phase with the internet, the being known as just Rihanna's husband and not A$AP Rocky phase. This is where a lot of people would kind of look at Rocky sideways, because he was kind of allowing it to happen, especially with him not releasing any music. So these years go by, they got a family, they got kids, but Rocky was still not dropping no music. People were still looking at Rocky like, oh, you just Rihanna's husband. They got together, they had these kids, and Rocky kind of turned into more of a fashion icon than musician. And I mean, if that's what he want to do, that's what he want to do. The fans are going to be mad regardless, but it's his life. But him taking fashion more serious than music is a big point that Drake was hitting on when these two was beefing. A big point Drake was throwing up was like, your music sucks now. People don't even want the music. They look at you and see a fashion nigga. They don't look at you and see a good rapper. And that was basically one of Drake's biggest points. But what really sparked up this Drake and Rocky beef, it was because of Rihanna. And before I keep going on, make sure you tap in with me on Instagram at GetLikePrincee. Link will be in the pinned comment. So Drake and Rocky were cool at one point, and this is like a common pattern with everyone Drake beef with. They always were cool at one point, but fell out later on. Basically, Drake and Rihanna had a real long on and off relationship. It was real public. You know, you seen them flirting online. You might see them kissing here and there on a date, whatever. And that's how they were for a long time. And it was real messy. Y'all know that nigga Drake get real petty. So over the years, we seen him throw shots at Rihanna. He sending little slick shots. You know, Drake is a little childish, man. And for a while, that was that. People knew they weren't together. People seen Drake say what he wanted to say. But that would all change when her and Rocky would pop out. This when the Drake A$AP Rocky beef would really spark up. These two would get to dissing each other. Drake say something about Rihanna, Drake say something about Rocky. Rocky respond, Rocky might send a little shot here.
You can't respond to Drake by saying, oh yeah, my girl, my girl, my girl. The reason why you can't do it, I'm gonna be respectful here. Drake said he smashed your girl. So, okay. Here's the thing. These two, this is their issue. Supposedly, A$AP Rocky smashed Drake's baby moms, but Drake smashed his baby moms. So they basically just traded. They're like they're Eskimo brothers beefing. They both fucked each other's baby mothers. And now it's like, okay, who has the up in the situation? And Rocky's trying to put it on record like, if we think logically, he's with a billionaire. Drake's baby moms ain't a billionaire. Remember, your girl ain't beefing for you. It's you. We're going to belittle you and basically say your girl is just carrying you in every type of way. Like, you're a bum-ass nigga. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares when you rap. Your girl is the only thing keeping you relevant. This is why Drake dissed him like this. This is why I say he shouldn't mention his girl.
And after a while of these two dissing each other and Rocky linking up with Future and Metro and being on their album, he would actually come out and give a statement on Drake and their whole beef. Revolt wrote this. Billboard published a new feature with A$AP Rocky, who touched on his relationship with Rihanna, being a father, his upcoming body of work, and much more. He also confirmed the Drake diss on Future and Metro's We Still Don't Trust You album. He would say, you gotta realize certain niggas was throwing shots for years. I ain't in the middle of that. That's not how I retaliate right now. I got bigger fish to fry than some soft dudes. It's real beef outside. Niggas really out here getting killed. This me and Drake beef basically ain't about nothing. But throughout the time of this Drake and A$AP Rocky beef, Drake would actually be the least of this man's problems. Remember how earlier I said Rocky putting hands on people was going to come up again? Well, this is exactly where that comes up at. Rocky would get into problems with the law once again, but this time, well, just like last time, it was looking bad. And once again, people thought his freedom was going to be over with. So, you know, Rocky, A$AP Rocky. A$AP is a collective. And someone else who happens to be a part of this collective was A$AP Relly. Pretty much 4 years ago, back in November 2021, Rocky was accused of pulling the strap on Relly and letting shots go. Basically, they had some problems. Relly talking wild in the text messages. And so they was like, let's handle this in real life. They pull up near this parking lot in Hollywood. Relly get to arguing with Rocky. And this is where it get interesting. Relly claims Rocky up pole and let some shots go. But where we get even weirder is Rocky was claiming that this weapon was never real. He was like, man, this is a prop. He was like, nigga, I'm a rapper. I'm a known nigga. I'ma carry around this pop gun so niggas know not to try. I don't know if it made Rocky look better or worse, but it was kind of caught on camera. It was on camera. You see Rocky have something pointing at it, really, but you don't ever see him shoot it. You don't see any bullets come out the gun on camera. You don't see none of that. So that's really why they was honing in so heavy on this prop weapon argument. And then after everything, you know, really claiming ASAP Rocky shot him. The cops came to the scene. They searched the scene. And guess what? They found nothing. Until ASAP really claims he went back to the scene after the cops already searched it and found shell casings and took it to the cops. And that sounds insane. The professionals, nigga, the cops that do this every day, search the scene, but didn't find no shell cases. But now you go and you find shell cases after the fact. New York Times wrote, a Los Angeles police sergeant and one of the first authorities to arrive on the scene after the incident testified it was difficult to determine whether a crime had taken place or not. Though the police could not locate evidence of a discharged weapon at the scene, Relly testified that he returned to the area later that night and retrieved 2 9mm shell casings. And a Texas criminal defense attorney would say this, police failed to find a gun and that became the strongest point for the defense. Relly also filed a civil court lawsuit against ASAP Rocky for damages sustained during the shooting and defamation suit. But for a while, this case was up in the air for Rocky because last time he was facing 6 years. This time, he was facing 24. But as the trial went on, Rocky was found not guilty. And that was the end of that until his rollout would start back up. So around the same time all of this was going on, we had Rocky really starting up this rollout for his next album, Don't Be Dumb. And I ain't called this the rollout of hell for no reason. This rollout been way worse than Whole Lotta Red rollout, some of these other rollouts over the years. I mean, over the past few years, we done seen Rocky really start and stop this rollout. So many times this album was supposed to drop. And it didn't. Originally, it was supposed to come out in 2024. This is what an article from August 2024 wrote a few days before the original release date. As the release date for ASAP Rocky's 4th studio album, Don't Be Dumb, slowly approaches, more details have come to light. It's been 6 years since the Harlem, New York rapper dropped his album, Testing. Rocky initially teased the arrival of his album in 2022 when he revealed a full-length project was on the way during a performance for Amazon Music. So the anticipation for this project was there, and it really was building up for years. And then leading up to the original album release date for Don't Be Dumb, people was getting prepared. People was getting excited until he delayed the album. He said leaked sample clearances and all of that was causing the album to be delayed and people was mad. But he, he reassured the fans. He's like, look, I'm delaying it, but it's just only gonna be a little bit. It's August right now. I'm gonna just delay it till fall. Fall 24, come and go, no updates. December will come around and he would officially delay the album. No date, just early 2025. Nigga, early 2025 came and went. We still don't got no album. Halfway through the year, we still don't have ASAP Rocky's album. And as the year has went on, we kind of see Rocky showing that he was scared to release this album. He was scared to drop. Hot New Hip Hop wrote this. Unfortunately, Rocky fans are about to receive not the most positive or exciting news, maybe a bit more concerning. In a new exclusive feature interview with ASAP Rocky, he was asked about the evolution of his new upcoming project. In his response, he comes across as nervous and unsure of himself, in our opinion. But you read the quote and tell us what you think. This album, it represents who I am right now. It's just that I hope it's digestible. So Rocky is scared to drop right now. Rocky said himself, I'm scared to drop. Basically saying he don't know if people are gonna like it. And I mean, that's true. Like, that is a valid point. That's a criticism that we hear from a lot of people. Oh yeah, I'm scared to drop. I wonder what the fans gonna think. But you being scared to drop also is making the fans mad and get real tired of this rollout. And eventually it's gonna get to a point where people don't give a damn. And I low-key think we kind of at that point right now. Because Rocky done did all of this. He done started and stopped this rollout. Lied about this date, lied about this date. Niggas is kind of like, all right, we good off the album. And I'm not gonna lie, this last single that he dropped really did prove that nobody really cares. Rocky thought he could take 8 years off and come back with no hit single and nothing big to bring people to this album. He could drop and it's gonna be okay. I don't think it's gonna work like that because Rocky just dropped the single. Now the single wasn't ass, it wasn't a bad song, but there was no interest in it. The song came out, it didn't even chart on the Apple 200 charts, and it was originally an Apple exclusive, which is crazy. A song exclusive to Apple's platform didn't even chart on the top 200. It's a lot of songs on there, and for Rocky not to be able to crack one as ASAP Rocky, that's a real bad look. And we gotta be honest, Rocky do got to take some self-accountability. Now, some of these situations he was in over the years, they were bad. You know, he got arrested. He wasn't always facing all these crazy ass life problems. He had time to put out an album. He had time to feed the fans. Then a point to just make Rocky look a lot more insecure about what he's putting out is the fact that after this song got all this backlash and the internet was clowning it, he would take the song down. Now, we don't know the actual reason behind why he deleted the song, but a lot of people are speculating that it's because the song flopped and the song overperformed, so Rocky just took it down off the internet. Kind of reminds me of that Trippie Redd situation back when him and Cardi was on his Exclamation Point album. The Cardi song was outshining all the other songs. Trippie took it down. Then people started thinking Trippie took the song down because people saying Cardi had the best verse on the album. It's kind of one of them situations. People hated the song, so Rocky took it down. I don't know. It's looking dark for Rocky career-wise. And I mean, all of this just adding up on top of each other. It might be another Polo G situation where the gap he took was so long, it depleted 85% of his fans. What are y'all thoughts on Rocky and his whole rollout? Will his next album flop or will it be generational?